Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here. I do hope you're having a great day. I've got a nice Strad trumpet I'm going to be playing, and I've got three aftermarket tuning slides, and just thought I'd spend a little time talking about them. The benefit, of course, primarily is twofold. One, you can alter the tonal characteristics with different metal, and secondly, you can alter the blow as well. For example, I've got a square sterling silver tuning slide here, and I've got a oval or ovate bronze tuning slide here. Now the difference in blow, this is going to be a more open blow. It's going to be a little more resistance in the blow. They say a little more definitive tonguing with your square or sharper tuning slide, a little less noticeable, a little more of a legato sound if you're using the ovate slide. And naturally, a considerable difference here. Now, what you will hear will depend largely on the type speaker or headphone you're using. You're using a cell phone, you probably won't be able to hear the complete difference, at least I tell you on my phone. Trumpet is not its favorite sound anyway, but put on a good set of headphones, or if you have your computer playback hooked up to speakers, I think you will definitely notice a difference. Now I'm going to start off with, going to be using a sterling silver belt 43 Bach Strad standard weight. And I'm going to start off with the standard tuning slide. And they call this a D, not a square, although it is definitely closer to the square than the oval. But standard Bach tuning slide. Brass, naturally. Now, I'm going to play one of my favorite slides next, and that is nickel silver. So I've got nickel silver, bronze, and I've got sterling silver aftermarket slides. I love the nickel silver because I'm not a real power player. I don't get the full measure if you really lit up a horn with a wild amount of wind, but the nickel silver helps give me that. Plus, when you switch from a brass tuning slide to a nickel silver or to a bronze, or to a sterling silver, you're opening your option for different metals and the characteristics that they carry with them. You get a little more complex sound on this trumpet when you're using the nickel silver tuning slide and the bronze tuning slide, because you're adding those metals to the mix. Now, I wish I had on hand a 190 1B. When Bach put that out, it's one of the 190 horns they started a few years ago. Nickel silver tuning slides for the legs, and also nickel silver for the body. Big difference. It does give you a brighter tone, and the overtones are just completely different. Really, really remarkable and extremely nerdy. A trumpet is still a trumpet, but you are changing things. Now, after I played these four with the same mouthpiece, what I'm going to do is play each one with a mouthpiece that I think exacerbates its already significant differences. And if you want to hear all of these just back to back, minus the talking, if you want to compare the nickel silver to the sterling silver, if you want to compare the brass to the bronze, you could just go down to the comments, click on a little more, and at the bottom I'll have all of these cut so that you can just go from one playing segment to another, and hopefully you can enjoy the complete difference that way. I'm going to play an old gospel song, Jesus, Jesus, how I trust him, how I proved him o'er and o'er. The Olympics started a couple of days ago, and if you're up on current events, they had a collection of drag queens that were spoofing the Lord's Supper. I just wonder what you really get out of that. Yeah, you've proved that you can alienate about 1/4 of the world's population by playing on their religious beliefs. But really, what is the overall benefit? It's pretty much lost on me. But at any rate, we'll play an old gospel chorus. It's kind of a mix between fast and slow, just a bunch of whole notes and a whole bunch of runs. And I think it will work well. So we're going to start with the 43 sterling silver belt Strad with its original brass tuning slide. Okay, went a little longer than I wanted to. For the mouthpiece, I'm just using a GR. It is a 64 medium X, so it's a little extra deep. Might be comparable to the volume of a regular Bach 3C. A little smaller diameter. Okay, now I'm going to go my favorite mouthpiece, or excuse me, tuning slide. This is MK. In fact, all three of these aftermarkets are MK. MK tuning slide. And I'll put a link down to where you can get in touch with them. This is nickel silver. You can see it's a little lighter than brass and well tarnished, as is my trumpet bell. I guess it's cleaning time, isn't it? But nickel silver from tip to tip. Now, sometimes you can get these tuning slides and they'll say they're nickel silver, and they'll be nickel silver in the bend area, but everything else is brass. Well, I like it better when you can get the whole benefit of the nickel silver for the whole length of the tuning slide, for the bend, the crook, and for the legs as well. Now, you should notice a little more bite in this, a little more brilliance, bright tone, and we'll see what you think. Okay, there we go. Now, the sterling silver bell, not a lot of them in a 43 model. But what you get with that is actually more core, I think, and a little bit less in the realm of overtones. If I had another standard body Strad, then I would use a light brass bell, and I think you'd get a little better idea of how these can alter that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the bronze tuning slide, and this is such a dark bronze, it's almost like copper. Now, where the last one I used was a D nickel silver slide, some bright overtones. Of course, this is going to give you a darker overtone. I really think it will add to the already solid core that you get out of this horn, but definitely a little darker tone. And again, if you want to compare them, just go down to the bottom of the comments and you can run these just right back to back, split in the middle, see what you think of the sound. Okay, Now, the last one I've got, and I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on this. This is a sterling silver, at least the crook is. Looks like the legs of the slide are brass, but it is sterling silver and square. So the sterling silver on the tuning slide now is going to match the sterling silver of the bell. I think, again, where the nickel silver really gives you a lot of bright overtones, I think this just contributes to the dense, solid core of a sterling silver bell. Well, what are your thoughts? What do you hear? Okay, now I'm going to run through these again, and what I think I'm going to do is just try and use the mouthpiece that I think will fit best with it. The nickel silver, I'm going to use a really neat mouthpiece here. This is an Al Cass 127, revamped. I wish you could see the inside of this cup. Revamped by Trent Austin at Austin Custom Brass. Fairly shallow mouthpiece, goes straight down inside the rim to a rather abrupt C-type cup with a huge throat. And I've always liked that, almost like a dual cup. This thing is like a howitzer. It has got so much power, and combined with the nickel silver tuning slide, you might want to back up just a little bit so you don't get blown away by the sound. Just a little exaggeration there, but it should give us a nice, brilliant timbre. If you were playing in a big band and you didn't want a screech mouthpiece, but you really wanted something that would cut, this might be the type thing. I think I'll speed it up for this number, and we'll just use a little brisker piece. And I'm anxious, as always, to hear what these sound like when we get back to them. Okay, we'll take the darker sounding tuning slide here. Better get the nickel silver one out first. And we'll go with the lovely bronze ovate circular type slide. And just to really max out on the darkness, we'll use the great Reeves C2J, very deep cup on this little mouthpiece. It's one of the greater trumpet flugel mouthpieces I think you could find. And with the darkness the mouthpiece gives, and mouthpieces are definitely the easiest way to alter tone, but going along with the dark bronze tuning slide, I think you'll really get a nice, creamy, rich sound. Okay, nice, dark sound. Okay, the last one I'm going to use again is the sterling silver square slide. And I'll go to what I consider one of my favorite mouthpieces, really. This is a Reeves 42B, patterned after a Bach 7B. So you've got a fairly deep cup, a little bit more of a modified V than Bach would give you. And I think it's got a 24 drill instead of the standard 27. I think the Bach, who was I reading about recently? And they said, oh, Doc Severinsen. Doc Severinsen plays a 5 rim, but one of his favorite mouthpieces apparently was a 5 rim on essentially the body of a 7B. And Bob Reeves made that mouthpiece for him. And Tony Scodwell, contributor at trumpetherald.com, great website. I think he said that was one of the mouthpieces that really, Doc has always liked that 7B, but in a slightly larger, the 5 rim. Okay, so we've got the 7B knockoff by Reeves. He calls it a 42B. And we've got your sterling silver tuning slide to go with the sterling silver bell. Should be a very dense sound. Probably work real well for a lot of legit type things. See, I did know the end of the chorus. All right, folks. Hope things are going well with you. We're in the political season, and we've got a nation that is so divided. And of course, both parties want to distance themselves from the other. And essentially what they do is they distance themselves from the other half of the United States. What a world we live in. I do believe America is the best nation in the world, but a little unity would certainly go a long way. Well, at any rate, do take care of yourself in these unique times and take care of somebody near you.